Here, we're going to talk just briefly about the brochures and resources included at the end of the outline. As you can see at the end of our 7th step, follow-up, there is a link to the brochure that's to be handed out at the end of the session. There will be a link like this in each of the modules' outlines. Also, you can see at the very bottom of the outline, there may be a link to additional coach resources. These are not meant to be used with the teen, but may be helpful educational tools for the coach as they prepare to go over the module. We don't need to look at these resources as they're just optional, but we will take a quick look at each of the 6 brochures. In our first module, we have the stress brochure. The first picture here is the front and back or outside of the brochure, and the second picture shows what will be on the inside of the brochure. There will be some familiar graphics and tools for dealing with stress. There will also be additional tools that weren't covered in intervention. Because there will be some new information, be sure to ask the adolescent if they'd like to go over anything in the brochure with you or if they have any questions before you part ways. Next is the Healthy Relationships brochure. Most of what's contained here will be familiar information from the intervention, but there are some phone numbers listed that might serve as a useful resource that should be pointed out. Moving on, we have Module 3, Boundaries. As in other brochures, most of the information contained here will be review of what's already been covered. Again, be sure to ask if there are any questions before parting. Module 4 is Trauma. Much of what you'll see was part of the intervention PowerPoint. There are useful helplines to point out on the back cover. Next, coping skills are covered in the Module 5 brochure. It mainly contains highlights and helpful graphics from the intervention. Finally, we have the Maintenance Module brochure. It would likely be helpful to discuss this one in detail with the youth. There are some helplines listed, community resources, and tips for reaching goals and continuing with progress made over the course of the program.